What is up, everybody? This is Corey James of Carbonstone, and you are listening to Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars.
What is up, everybody? You are listening to Beyond the Breakdown with Six Scars. This is part 2 of a double header tonight. I am joined tonight by the rapper known as Low. Man, how you doing tonight?
What's good? How are you, man? Thanks for
Doing
having me
good.
on.
Oh, thank you for wanting to do this, man. So we're just gonna kind of hit the ground running, man. I think that would be the best way to do it.
Sounds
So,
good.
for those that don't know who you are, explain yourself in a nutshell.
um, I'm more so considered a rapper. I'm like experimental. I've done like rock songs, metal songs. My roots are metal, but I'm I love poetry and I started rapping when I was younger. So I got into rapping and it works better. I did drumming and stuff for a while and play guitar, but I love rapping. So that's kind of like mainly what it is. It's like a spiritual rap. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
What?
I don't know how to explain it. Like,
No. So, like, what was kind of your first introduction to just music in general, man? Like, what's the earliest memory?
um, being a kid, I was kind of like both rap and hip hop kind of hit me at the same time. I was born in '89, so like around the '90s is when like Tupac and stuff emerged. And at
Yeah.
the time is when like hair metal was a thing too, like Cinderella and all that, and like Motley Crue. And my dad used to listen to Motley Crue and Cinderella and all that stuff all the time. Like he'd come home from work jamming. He had a or a mullet and an '85 Blazer, and he'd come home jamming. And like we'd listen to it when we'd go anywhere. And he was a single dad, so I was always in the back of the Blazer. We go everywhere, and he'd be jamming that. So hearing like the symphonies and stuff like that, and like choirs and like the darker stuff, it like I don't know, man. It hit me differently deep inside. And then with rap, I had a babysitter, and she used to listen to rap like in the car all the time growing up. So I used to listen like she listened to Tupac and Nas and all that. So that's where I got into rap. And
Okay.
then so I kind of like growing up like because my dad was a single parent, it wasn't like the easiest, to deal with certain things. I was the second child, and I was a problem child. I had bipolar, ADHD, all that stuff. So I was a little harder for him to handle, and he couldn't really figure out how to handle me. So music was my escape. And when the Eminem came out, and
Yeah.
I seen he was like he was doing a rock rap type of thing, and I was like, man, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, because that's what I want to do is like kind of mix, the two. And like I was like, wow, that's wild. So I started like following that, and I was listening to DMX. DMX was like more. I got into the aggressive. You know what I mean? Like aggressiveness gets it out. So I started like doing poetry, and when I started doing poetry, I guess like couple of my buddies in school was like, hey, you need to like rap, like you need to do that behind beats, like you're like good at rhyming. And I was like, all right. So I guess that's kind of like where it got into. But I started off in music. I started off like playing drums and guitar and stuff like that. So like
Man,
that's yeah.
that's a hell of a journey, dude. So obviously, if you're into the metal and the rock, were you influenced by Linkin Park?
Yeah, a lot. A
Yeah.
lot actually. Like I've been told I sound like I don't know how to put this like the best way, but I've been told I sound like a Down syndrome Chester Bennington when I sing, like all my stuff, which I thought it was so funny because I'm like, man, it's kind of true. Like when you listen to it,
Oh man.
but like you could definitely hear the inspiration with Chester in there, and then like El Nino, the singer of El Nino,
Yeah.
like a lot of those guys, like Kill Switch and all that stuff, like their melodies, the way they like hold their notes like real
Yeah.
long, and they do it behind like I don't know. I love that. So I kind of like that inspired me a lot, with the singing and stuff.
So
So
When
But like, yeah, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit was huge with me. Limp Bizkit, yeah, yep, I love Limp
favorite
Bizkit.
album, favorite album
Uh,
from them?
whew, I have to say, I guess Chocolate Starfish
Chocolate
because it was like
Starfish,
it
and
was the most
yeah,
impactful, I guess, to me. Like that was the one I jammed out the most. I love $3 Bill. I had that one too. I had all their albums, but like I think Rollin' was my favorite, especially that when they did that with DMX and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that was like, oh man, that was crazy. I like that.
I grew up listening to Limp Bizkit. We're basically the same age, only a year apart. But I grew up watching Limp Bizkit on WWE and everything else. So like they were getting the recognition when Chocolate Starfish was coming out, and like it to this day affects how I work on music.
Yeah. It's like that was crazy when that came out. It was like a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? Like I never heard nothing like that. Like that. They were just jumping around. It's when that bouncing stuff. They were like bouncing, and I'm like, oh man, like jumping around on stage. I'm like that energy. It's hip hop, but with like rock. Oh man, that's crazy. You know, it just makes it.
Yeah,
I feel like it amplifies it. You know, I feel like merging them together is it's a very powerful sound. You know what I mean? Like if you can hit
yeah.
it a certain way, it's extremely powerful. And like Limp Bizkit hit it in their way. They hit it with that bounce. You know, that was powerful and impactful and fun. And Linkin Park also, the way they did it too was insane.
And it also tells you like the lasting impact that they've had, because here we are like 30 plus years on and they're still doing their thing. They're touring worldwide. I mean,
Not only that, but they essentially created a whole new subgenre. Like you got Suicide Boys out here. I mean,
yeah,
even Lil Jon, dude. Like Lil Jon really had that crunk music. That shit was
yeah,
hard, dude. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like, like that was like holy crap. You know, like that was really I think what sparked a lot of the what's going on right now. You know what I mean? With
yeah.
because rock and rap is really metalcore and rap is kind of like it's really starting to merge more, you know, starting to get more, you know, I'm
It,
seeing a lot more. I'm seeing guys screaming on hip hop beats and trap beats, which is crazy dope, you know, and then I'm hearing dudes like rapping on like some ambient stuff, and it's like, man, that's dope, you know, and it's like I love hearing like this, you know, the mixture of the different stuff, you know, it's crazy.
it really is, because like growing up, I never thought I would see it, because like everybody crapped on new metal. So it
Mhm.
was like, oh, this ain't gonna be anything, da 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 da. Now here we are, X amount of years later, and everybody is wanting to do
Yeah.
it.
They're wanting to do it, and they're wanting to like they're like, how can I get a new sound out of it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
but it's cool. It is dope, and it's cool is like rap and metal guys are kind of they're more accepting of each other. I think nowadays, like especially in my situation, like I've been working with the Horseshoe Gang lately. Like I just did a song with them not that long ago, and I'm doing a song currently. I just recorded the song today, and I'm waiting on their end. But I don't know if you know who the Horseshoe Gang is, but they work with Eminem. They're brothers with King Crook, and King
oh
Crook
man,
was
okay,
Slaughterhouse. Yeah. So like they're legitimate biological brothers, and they're the dopest dudes. But I didn't think out of everybody in the industry, they came to me, and out of everybody, I didn't think they would. You know what I'm saying? These dudes are like legitimate lyricists. Like they're known to be lyricists, rappers. Like they're
yeah.
rappers. So for them to be like, hey, you're dope, we want to do music with you, is like, oh my god, dude, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So and I'm more of like, if you listen to my stuff, there's definitely a rock, you know, sound there. So for them to be like, hey, that's sick, you know, that's crazy, and I think that's dope.
Well, the track you did with them, if I remember correctly, was it "If the Shoe Fits"?
Yeah, yes sir,
Yeah,
yep.
I was listening to that one today, man. I really dug that one actually. What was it like doing that one, man?
I appreciate it. That one, it was both these songs were kind of like blindsiding in a way. I wasn't expecting to do them. They kind of like was like I got a message, hey, I want to do a song. I'm like, okay. And so then I go, and either the next day or within 10 minutes, I go on, I find a beat, and then I'd grab the beat, and then I just start right. I just, that's what happened with this one too. It was kind of like a quick thing, like pull it out of your ass almost type of situation. So it was fun, but like when I did, I didn't know if I could stand beside rappers like them. I didn't know how it would sound, because to me, I have no idea where I'm at with my career, or where I stand with people, or even that's why I try to be really humble, because I have no clue if I'm actually good or not. If you want me to be honest with you, like I try to be confident, but I really don't know. So I didn't know how I was going to stand next. I know how these guys are though. I mean, they've done songs with, they took on Hobson and his whole crew. And
Shoot.
I'm like, man, I don't know, So, but I was surprised on how it came out, because it has my style, but essentially they fit, the shoe fit, the shoe gang
Yeah.
fit, like it fit. So I was like really surprised. And then they came at me again, and that was fun. So like listening to it, I don't know. It's when I listen to it, I don't really feel like it's me. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it doesn't set in, that it's like, oh, that's me on there. Like, because when I rap, I sound completely different than when I talk. And so when I'm on there, I don't really hear me. And so
Yeah.
hearing them and me together, it's like sometimes it's like, yo, that's you. Like something in my head, I'm like, yo, that's you. And I'm like, holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, I can't believe I did that. But it is dope. It was fun, and it motivated me, because I wanted to quit. And I really I did Prophecy. I did the song Prophecy, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm cutting this off. I'm not doing anymore. And that's when they messaged me out of the blue, and they were like, yo, let's work. And I told them, I was like, man, you know what? I want to, but I don't really see the point, like, and they were like, nah, dude, whatever. And they were like, I mean, if you want to, they're like, they didn't let it go, but they weren't like pushy, but they didn't let it go. And so I decided, screw it. And it motivated me. And so I ended up doing Collapse after that. And then they wanted to do this. So I was like, all right, so I'll do this. And I got another song with a beat maker named Stir Crazy. He's worked with Twisted and ICP. And
Oh
so
man.
yeah, I'm doing a song to one of his beats. He's a cool dude. He's a really cool dude. I've talked to him a lot. But I'm doing a song on one of his beats. So I'm doing this project. I want to put them on an all one project, but I keep releasing. The problem is I keep releasing each song as singles. So I'm like, I gotta hide at least a few of them. You know what I mean? So like, I'm trying to decide, like, all right, Collapse. I wasn't gonna release Collapse at all, like, and I did. And so like, I'm like, man, I need to do a couple songs and not, just be quiet about them, just hide them until I put out this project. But I want this project to be like a lot of different songs. I want it to be kind of big. So I guess I'll just put out what I put out and hide what I hide. You know what I mean? For the project. Sorry, I ramble. I got like
Oh
ADHD and OCD.
no,
So.
dude, you are good. I got ADHD, bipolar, you name it. I'm a Molotov cocktail of mental illness.
Awesome.
But no, so I mean, with you wanting to put these songs out, it brings up an interesting question I'll ask. Do you prefer to release singles, or do you like to do the EP style where there's like 1 to 2 singles and then release a 3-track EP, or how do you do it?
As of right now, because I'm not known at all, like, I'm still building. I only got 1,000 followers on Facebook. So I prefer singles because I can do them quicker. I'm not very patient either when it comes to like my songs. Like, I want to put them out, you know what I mean? So I prefer singles right now, but in the future, like, if there is a future, like if it gets to a point where like I make enough off of this to where I can do bigger things and like do music videos and stuff. Like, that's why I don't have music videos yet either, because I'm way too picky and they're way too expensive.
Yeah.
But I in the future, yeah, I feel like albums, I like them, but they're not for everybody.
No.
EPs either. Like, there's certain listeners that the majority of people these days, they like singles. That's just where the music industry's at, and I don't mind putting out singles either. If people rock with them, they rock with them. But I think albums and EPs are fun, and I think they bring the fun into they're like a book, you know what I mean? It's like writing a book. I feel like it's fun to do that. Like to do a single is cool, but sometimes you have a story that's too big and you can't fit
Yep.
it into one song, you know what I mean? So
Yep.
that's where I feel like an EP or an album would benefit. Yeah. So I
So
feel like albums are good too, but I prefer right now in my career singles.
okay. Well, I
Yeah.
was gonna say, speaking of singles, and you've already mentioned it, you just dropped "Collapse."
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, that's a great track, man. So props to you on
Thank
that
you.
one, dude. So what was the inspiration behind that one, man?
That was more of like a message to myself. Like really it's like and a message to other people. Like I know there's people I'm in a town. I lived in Pittsburgh for like a long time, but I just recently moved to where I was born and raised. I moved back and it's a town called Ephrata, PA in Lancaster. And it's a very German town. And people here in this town, a lot of them are not very open to rap, so really it was more or less a message to people who aren't open to who don't agree with what I'm who take it too much to heart, like my lyrics and stuff. It's like, oh, I'm not gonna stop till I'm gonna keep going until I collapse, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so and it was also a homage to Eminem too, because he's one of my favorite artists, and it was kind of a homage track to Till I Collapse, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Working with the Shoe Gang, and then I've been getting I've been getting support from some of the Shady Records artists lately. So I was
Oh
like, oh
man.
yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna just drop this, to show like, hey, this is dope. I appreciate it, type of thing. So
Well, it's definitely a great track, and then I know I'm having trouble with Facebook streaming the freaking video like I did earlier, but after the replay, I'm gonna put a link to it in the comments for our listeners to check out because it's definitely worth the time. And as a quick side note, man, you just said you are outside of Lancaster, PA.
yeah, oh yeah, well, yeah, like a little bit outside of Lancaster. I'm probably about 15, 20 minutes outside of Lancaster City. Yep.
So I'm originally from, you may know the town, but Hazleton, Pennsylvania.
Yep, I know
Yeah,
Hazleton.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So small world on that one, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Yep. I knew a couple people from Hazleton. Yep. Yeah.
It's not much there now, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. I
So,
I moved around a lot, dude. So like I've been all over PA. Like I've lived in Wilkes-Barre, Scranton area. I've lived in Mechanicsburg, like
okay,
Harrisburg area. I lived here in the Lancaster area. I've lived up close to the State College area. That's my son lives up there, so I had a kid at. I live up there.
okay.
Um, so I've been all around. So I know about like almost everywhere in PA.
So, well, I mean, like you said, the area is not very receptive to what you're doing right now. So, what is it like trying to kind of like create the scene for it?
I guess I just don't try to create a scene. What I guess I'm trying to do is trying to get accepted from my backgrounds. My background is like it's not my background is more or less like Eminem's background, that the white kid that was, kind of abused and it has problems or whatever, like it's a lot like that. Like I didn't have a mom, you know what I mean? And stuff like it's kind of like his, but opposite sort of. So I wanted, and I know how hip hop feels about him right now, so I
Yeah,
I know that it's probably only going to get so far with the niche that I'm in, with this. Like I'm in that NF, niche, and that, Yellow Wolf niche, and that MGK niche. And I'm probably only going to get so far because nobody really accepts that niche too much. And but I'm not really trying to build a scene. I'm trying to see if I can get accepted first, on being taken serious as a rapper, not like an artist, but as in that rap industry,
yeah,
because like I have gone through serious struggles, just like every other rapper has gone through serious struggles. Like I was broke, dude. I was homeless. I was on welfare. I was on like a lot of that stuff. Like I've lived a very, very struggled life. Like my family can vouch for the stuff, and so I can relate a lot with like what a lot of these other rappers are saying. Just kind of in a different way, but I can relate. And so I'm trying to show, like, listen, I can relate and I can speak that fire just as well, and if I can get that and I can build that to the point where if I could build Below the Influence music up to the point where I could get other acts and kind of, and then I'll start like building a scene. Like I would like to build a studio for kids in my town here that are from broken homes and are confused in their life. I'd like to build, like, to teach them how to songwrite and structure and
Yeah.
to, whatever genre they want to do, even if it's bluegrass or jazz. Like I might not know much about that genre, but I'll hire somebody that does, you know what I mean, that can provide the proper information for this kid,
Yeah.
if they want to learn that, whatever it is. Like I don't like judgment. So whatever music, I just want music. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't care what the genre of it is or whatever. Like I just music is it, music's all the same essentially to me. It's just different sounds.
So I gotta ask you, I know you're up in the Pennsylvania area. Are you familiar with a guy by the name Seethe? Seethe.
Yeah, he was my manager. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's cool. He's really good people. Yeah. Yep.
I
Yep.
was gonna say, like, you should definitely hook up with him at some point then, because like he's all about that scene up there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, actually I was signing Brutal Business from him, through him. He got me
Oh,
on there.
okay.
He managed me on there. He did very well for me. And because of him and Jonna, that's how I gotten 1,000 followers. I've gotten as far as I have with this. Like I wouldn't even have any type of like views or anything if it wasn't for them. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
yeah. They're literally like pillars to what Below the Influence music is. You know what I mean?
Hell
So
yeah,
yeah,
man. Dude,
salute to them.
yes, I love Steve so much. Me and him have become really good friends through social media. So it's really cool to hear his impact on that local scene, because I've had several bands come on here and they're like, "Oh man, we love him." Like it's a really cool feeling
He
to see
yeah,
that.
he's goofy, bro. Like he's so funny. Like he's a funny dude. Like he's very easy to get along with, and he does really well. Like he's a very busy guy, and I don't know how he does what he does. You know what I mean? So I don't even bother him because I'm trying to do my thing, and like I left Brutal Business, but I didn't leave. I never really explained why I left. It was personal things on my end, but like I didn't, it wasn't anything ill at all between me and them or me and him
Yeah,
or else. And then I don't know, I guess stuff happened after I left anyway that had nothing to do with me. And I don't know anything about that stuff. But he was always still checking up, and making sure, things are cool. And so like yeah, he helped build, what I have right now. So yeah,
hell yeah,
real good dude, and he's talented. That dude can scream, dude. Like
dude.
he's
I,
insane.
I got I got 2 tracks with him, and I'm beyond thrilled. So I mean, it kills me every time I see him.
I'm gonna have to check him out. Yeah, dude. And he hustles, bro. He's got one heck of a hustle. Like I feel like he needs to be out there more than he is. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that dude hustles like crazy, but like you know, I don't know. His sound is one of those unique sounds, just like mine. It's very unique and it's hard to get familiar with that. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
listeners hear it and they're like, at first they're gonna be like, because I get this all the time, like, oh, I don't know, dude. You know what I mean? Like it's good, but like I don't know, it's my style. Yeah, I get that all the time. And his he like he's the only one I've ever heard to do that screaming like that on trap beats. You know what I mean? So like I could, it's gonna be harder for him. Like I've had a lot of producers tell me, like I'd ask them, like, hey, you think it's even worth it? And they'd be like, I think it's gonna be slow, but I think it is, you know what I mean? And I feel like his is kind of the same way, you know, type
Oh
of
yeah.
thing, you know. But yeah, he's a talented dude and on a lot of levels, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with that being said, though, also like don't sell yourself short, man. Because I've been sitting here listening to you, and you also have a hell of a lot of talent.
Oh, I
And
appreciate that, man.
yeah, dude. I mean, like you said, you have your own unique style. Like I was listening to you, and I was like, he doesn't exactly sound like anybody that I've necessarily listened to in the rap world. And to me, that's refreshing as hell because in a world where there's so many copycats, man, like it's hard to find originality.
Hmm. Yeah.
And you really shine through with that, like especially with the way some of your melodies are, or some of the way you do your lyrics, or like your accents on the way you say things. Like it to me, it's all very fresh and not overdone. And I wanted to take the time to give you props on that, man.
Oh, thank you so much, dude. That means a lot. Like that helps me see, you know, where it might be sitting at. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. That's
Oh, dude.
crazy.
And I know you were talking earlier how you said you only have 1,000 followers. Well, I mean, I have my personal page, and then I have my band page by the name Six Scars, and it's just me. I just get instrumentals and stuff. But man, I've learned the hard way that followers are not always everything you need, man. Because it's like record labels look at them. I get that. However,
Yeah.
you can have 1,000 followers, man, but only one engagement. Like
That's true. That's
like
true, dude. And yeah, it's true. I mean, I've had a couple people like my song "Human." I've had people telling me like, "Hey, man, that saved me from suicide," and I guess that's more impactful than anything I've ever
yeah,
accomplished. You know what I mean? Like that made me cry. I literally sat there and was like, "Yo," like you know what I mean? Like, holy crap, dude, that's powerful. You know? So like, you're right, dude. Like, and I try not to look at the views, but like a lot of the people that I'm friends with, like, or I guess like I see like a lot of dudes like I'm working with like I rap with the Shoe Gang and those guys I see them and they got like 25,000 followers, you know what I mean? And I guess I'm like, man, you know what I mean? And I know I don't really I guess sometimes I do need to see it like when I started, you know what I mean? I didn't have any, you know, so I should see it like that. You know, 1,000 followers is a good bit for
yeah.
coming from a small town and especially one where hip hop doesn't even exist, you know. So I guess that is a pretty decent, you know, bit.
Well,
So
I mean, I look at it this way: like you may not get 1,000 people to listen to the track, but if the algorithm is being good to you, you'll have at least half of that seeing what you've put out at least. And
yeah.
that in itself to me is more valuable than per se like having, 2, 3,000 followers. But I'm on a little bit of a weird side where like I got caught up in the numbers hardcore, man. And I feel like I kind of have a little bit of a way to tell you that like, don't get caught up in the numbers because like I
Yeah.
got burned out, man.
Yeah.
Um, it's easy to do. Like you look at it and you're cheering for all these people, but you're like, damn, why isn't that mine?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and it can
Yeah.
mess with you. It can mess with you hardcore, dude. It's
Yeah.
like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not getting any views. Like, I just put this song out. They got like 10,000 views in one day. I got one. Like, what
Yeah.
am I
Yeah.
doing wrong? I'm over here grinding just as hard. But
Hmm.
to me, man, I think the best advice I could do to tell you for that is like, just breathe. Like
Yeah.
your success comes when it's time, in my opinion. And I think that it's honestly just a matter of time until you start really kind of popping off, dude. And don't sneeze at 1,000 followers either, man, because there's some people, man. I'll tell you, I requested a band to be on here. I'm not going to drop names. um they had below 25 followers and they told me mine wasn't good enough. And I was like, bro, I'm just like trying to help you guys out. But they were like, well, it's not big enough. I'm like, I, well, why are you guys getting so caught up? Like, I'm trying to help you tell your story, man.
Yeah, that's crazy. See, that's one thing when it comes to like working with other people, like working with other artists or working with like a podcast or whatever. That's one thing I'll never do is I'll never look at the followers of like
Yeah,
because it's not about that, bro. It's about like the music. You know what I mean? Like it's not
yeah,
even a like. So that's crazy that they said that's crazy, bro. Like that's just
I
I could
mean,
never.
it's just kind of the roll of the dice that you get, man. Like I've been privileged to get to actually talk to people like you, where you're very down to earth and insightful and everything. And then there's some that I've reached out to and like, hey, we're not all the same. I get that. But you also don't have to kind of be a bit of a jerk about
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like, man,
it.
what's wrong with you? You know, like you
Yeah.
pissing your Wheaties this morning. But some people are just are like that. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
don't
I
know.
mean,
Like
go ahead.
that's one thing. Like people listen, people get really messed up about me, dude, because they hear my music and then they're like, "Oh shit, this guy, he's mad." You know what I mean? Like he's pissed. And then they see me in person. I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" Blah blah blah, and they're like, "Whoa, like he's not like that at all in person." Like So it really, I people get sometimes if they heard of my music and never met me, and then they meet me. They kind of stand off, they're kind of standoffish at first because they're like, they're hearing, what I'm rapping about, and I'm not like that at all. Like that's just an outlet, you know what I mean? That's a lot of the stuff I'm rapping about is from the past,
Yeah.
like so they get very standoffish and kind of weird, but then once they meet me, they're like, oh no, you're not even like that. You're like real down to earth and blah blah blah, I'm like,
It,
yeah,
it's kind of like an alter ego
yeah,
or like an
exactly,
alter
yeah.
personality. Like do you kind of take yourself to another place when you start rapping?
It is like so I'll get into it pretty deep here if you're cool with hearing about
Yeah,
like
yeah,
where low came from. Low essentially isn't me like what you see here and stuff, and even what you're hearing me talking out of my mouth. Like I tell people they'll never meet low. Like face to face, they'll never meet him because low is not like low is an entity. It's not even so much of an alter ego. It's like a room in my brain. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah.
it's like in the mansion, like the NF talks about, like the mansion, and low is like a representation of who I could be, like I could be this angry dude. I could come at you. I could blah 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 blah. I could do this and stuff like that, but that's not who I am. I'm just putting it here, and a lot of it's like I overdosed a couple times and passed away. So I went through that. That story is within low, and low is like what low stands for is like to bring attention to, or you know what I mean? That's like the definition of low. So that's kind of what low means, and then
Okay.
low pretty much represents, like, if you were to like put him as a person, he would be like 8 to 10-year-old me, I guess, like, because I was very angry back then, like going through a lot. So I guess that would be what low is. But low is the music, the voice, all that in one, and you only see them on the screen. You know what I mean? You only see them in the logo. You only hear them in your speakers. You're never, because he's angry, and I can't be like that in my real life. I'd get fired from my job. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have any friends. Like you can't be like that in real life. There's a real life. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah, low is like I when I was a kid, I was like that in real life. I was very confrontational. Like I'm a black belt. Like I trained martial arts for a long time. So
Oh
me
man.
being as angry as I was and being a black belt really wasn't a good mixture. You know what I mean? So I had to figure out, like, yo, you're gonna really, like, you need to put this somewhere. So that's kind of like low got put into, the music. So
So I mean, I know for me, when I'm doing vocals or whatever, I kind of get out all of my frustrations in those moments.
mhm,
It's like it's kind of like it's I become the caricature of my lyrics, and
mhm.
it's like I'm just getting everything out because I feel like I'm burning alive if I can't.
Yep.
Is it kind of similar for you?
Yeah. There's times, dude, where I'll have a melody when I'm like, I'll have a melody stuck in my head that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? And it's like very addicting. It's a catchy tune. And I'm like, it's driving me nuts. Like, I gotta get this out, bro. So like I have to sit down and write words to the melody, and then like my song Escape. It's an older song. Um, and it's like it's not very, a lot of my songs, the mixes are a little iffy, but that's a lot of that has to do with me and my recording. But
Yeah.
my song Escape, it's an older one, and it was like that. Like I had this hook stuck in my head for months. It was like la da 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 da, and it was like I was like, damn, I love that, dude. It was like making
Yeah.
me like, you know, and I was like, I gotta do something with that. I gotta do something with, but like a lot of my like, I was like, but it's like the way the melody is, it doesn't work with the way my lyrics. My lyrics are dark, but the melody is kind of like, you know, it's kind of
Catchy and poppy.
yeah. But I was like, screw it. I'll just kind of make it like a Gemini thing. Since I'm a Gemini, I'll make it like a, you know. So I wrote like I need to escape, you know, type of thing with these lyrics. But yeah, that was, and then once I wrote it and recorded it, it was out of my head, bro. It's gone. So I get that, you know. There's times where like, or just a feeling. It's not even just a melody; it's a feeling. You just need to get in. You need to get it out, no matter what it is.
Yep.
You know, it's kind of
Yep.
like how this song I recorded today was. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that.
I'm excited to hear what the next thing that you're coming out with is. I know I'm got to be mindful every time we're at 9:35, but I have just a few more questions if you're okay with it.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Yep.
All right. So, what was the story behind Prophecy?
Prophecy. That one was more or less. It was against, like, you know how everybody beats themselves down in their head, you know, like you look in the mirror and you're like, oh man, you got that voice in your head, or a couple of them that are like, you're not good enough, you're blah blah blah
Yeah.
blah. Well, Prophecy was to those, essentially to those voices, like, you know, I got a lot of self-esteem issues, and you know, like
Same.
just yeah, and I think a lot of people do. But like that was more or less like these, you know, like wanting to quit hip hop. Like Prophecy was my answer to myself on quitting and giving up, you know, doing music. It was kind of like, you know, they want to off me, but I am so godly and not taking it softly. Like that was like to myself, like to those, they want to get me to stop. They want to off me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like that's kind of what Prophecy was about. And it was like bigger, like when I passed away and came back is when I really had that fire to do music. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do music before I passed away, and you know, and came back. Like the music came from that. So it's like more of a, I feel like I have to do it. I have to put this message out there that's like bigger than me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like a prophecy, like, you know, type of thing.
So, in a strange twist of events, like I've also flatlined a few times myself, and I've also had several major brain surgeries. And it was those things that were the catalyst of me being like, I got to get my shit out there. I got to get what is in my head out, and maybe it will help me or it will help somebody else. So it's really cool to draw those parallels between you and me.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, we have a lot in common, bro. That's what I mean.
Yeah, dude.
It's the metal in us, dude. Like
Yeah.
metal is like that, dude. Like it's very metal is a very spiritual like genre. Like it really holds a lot of truth to that type of thing. You know, metal is built a lot around that type of stuff. And I think,
Yeah, there's a lot of camaraderie in metal, specifically metal. I would like to say rock and hard rock, but sometimes it's a little iffy on those. But I digress. The other one I wanted to ask you about that I was really digging was I believe it is. Let me pull up my notes here. Yes, it is Six Go Dark.
oh yeah. That one actually is. I think that's actually my personal favorite song I've ever done, and not because of the song, is because of like how it was recorded. But that song was like, I was in my 20s when I wrote. So I was like a kid, and I was like freshly like, I've gone through a lot of. I was still figuring out. Like I was on welfare at the time, bro. I was still mad at. I was really mad at the world. And I was really like making a statement on that one. But that one, I love that one because it was actually the guy who recorded it for me. I recorded that in Mechanicsburg, PA, and a guy named Jason Schaefer was actually the engineer on that. And he is best friends with the original drummer from Breaking Benjamin. And
Oh, Jeremy
yeah,
Hummel.
Yeah. So I was like, and so he knows his shit when it comes to
Damn.
producing. So if you listen to that song, it sounds different than all my other songs.
Yeah.
It's because the way he's just so tight with it, but he did it so well. He made me sound like a way I still can't get that sound no matter what. I try, bro. I can't get that, but that song there, I love it just because of like who did it. But the message behind it is kind of like I don't know, man. It's like it's deep. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
there's a lot to it. Like there's a lot of personal stuff with that. Like that's like real, personal with that song. So like
Well,
there's symbolism in it, and a whole bunch like with the cover and everything. This symbolism. What it means is like Templar hearted, like the lyrics Templar hearted. What it means is like it has to do with masonry and
Knights
Freemasonry
of
and
the Round
stuff. So
Templar.
yeah, so Freemasonry is like it focuses on making yourself a better person, and
Mhm.
I follow that a lot in my personal journey to help get my anger out and be a better person. You know what I'm saying? So like
Yeah.
that's what that really meant is like I'm not gonna be this angry dude anymore. I'm gonna channel this here and I'm gonna be a lot better of a person, it's kind of what that means. And it was kind of to remind myself, like if I ever felt like I couldn't control myself, put that song on to remind yourself, you know what I mean? Type of thing. So that's kind of
Yeah.
what that was. Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
It's also an awesome lyric because I've never heard Templar hearted in a song before, and that was just like that was really sick. Like that was
Yeah.
really
Thanks, man.
good.
Yes, I do say some out there stuff. That's why like my lyrics are more of a metal side of lyrics, not really hip hop lyrics. A lot of people say that to you, like you're not really like you're rapping, but it's not. You're like you're saying poems, dude. Like it's straight up
Yeah.
poetry. I'm like that. Well, yeah, that's what rap is, rhythm and poetry. You know what I mean? So, hey, what's
You're
up,
absolutely right.
Liars Pacifist
Yeah.
Podcast? How are you?
Shout out to Will Brawley from Liars Pacifist Podcast. I think you guys would get along great. Actually, you should hit up Low, Will. I think you guys would have a blast getting to talk. Um, he said, "Hell yeah, Low, be the best person you can. Handle that. Respect, my friend." There you go.
I
Uh,
appreciate that. Thank you.
and then back when we were talking about the albums and EPs, our boy Steve came in with "Quality Over Quantity," gentlemen. And
Indeed.
then Melanie Nix from the Nix's podcast dropping in, showing love. She's one of my greatest fans. I absolutely love her. She's more than a fan. She's family, honestly.
That's
Um,
awesome.
but no, man, I absolutely love this episode, man. I gotta be honest with you. You're the first rapper that I've actually
Oh,
had on.
awesome. Well, I'm
So
glad. I'm
so I'm
happy to
not,
be able
I
to.
mean, when you came on, I was like, I'm kind of nervous because I'm like, I don't know how to approach this one because this is a little different than all the metalhead. But then
Hmm.
finding out how not necessarily our journeys paralleled each other all the time, but like how our interests are in music and how the upbringing of it kind of was similar. I was like, oh, okay, this dude's definitely my kind of dude to talk with, and I'll open it. I'll issue it right now. Word vomit. I definitely want to have you back on, man.
Oh,
Uh,
I'd love to be back on, bro. Love it.
whenever
Anytime.
I get some time, I know I'm booked up right now, but I know you are working. Are you working on an album? Is that what you were saying? Is it Awaken? Is that what
It
it is?
yeah, it's like I don't know what it is. It's like I don't know if it's an album or I honestly, dude, I don't even know. It's just gonna be, I guess, a group of songs, old and new. It's called
Okay.
Awaken Within Me. I guess it's pretty much gonna symbolize like awakening the artist out from within me type of thing.
Oh yeah,
So
dude.
yeah. So I don't even know when it's gonna come out, if it will come out, or like, I'm just kind of like trying to group it together and then eventually I'll just put it out all as one, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I guess it kind of is it's more of an experimental thing, So
Well, it is like Steve said, man, like quality over quantity, because
mhm.
you can churn out a song a week sometimes, man. But like, unless it's quality, like you're gonna look back at it and be like, man, why did I put it out?
Oh yeah, dude. I have a ton of songs where I'm like, man, I don't know, dude. Yeah, I was like, so yeah, it is definitely. But you learn too as you do more songs. You learn about like I'm learning my range and stuff, and I'm starting to really learn. And that's one thing I had a lot of trouble with. And I'm learning like I'm starting to learn like my niche. My niche is like, more of the drop tuning type of hip hop
Yeah,
beat, like that type of thing. So like I'm learning to stick with that type of stuff, you know what I mean? And like you learn like how much to put into the mic when you're recording and you learn breathing techniques and this and that and
yeah,
another thing. But quality over quantity is definitely the wave, you know what I mean? It's definitely
yeah.
the way to go.
And
Hmm.
then it's like you just said, man. You're constantly learning, and as
Hmm.
long as you're constantly learning, you're still evolving.
Yep,
So
and
I mean, that's
and yeah, and inevitably each song's going to be different because of that. Because you're going to figure out a way, and you're going to be like, "Damn, I wish I did that in that song," but then
yep.
it wouldn't be that song if you did that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to learn to keep them songs the way they are and just accept them how they are too. It's like
It
okay, well,
it's easy to be your worst critic, and then like because I mixed and mastered a whole bunch of my own stuff like I have, and I'm like, oh man, what was I thinking? Like what was I doing? And then I was like, well, no, because like it's still raw. It's me, and it's like I couldn't do that now if I tried.
Yeah, yep. I think the best music, I really think the best music is like when if you do pick up on a mistake in the song, I think that's dope though, because that's real. It's authentic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I like that type of stuff. I don't mind
Well,
it. So,
well, man, I know it is 9:46, and I want to be, like I said, mindful of your time. So I have one last question for you, man, and that
yes, sir.
is, you went beyond the breakdown with six scars tonight. How you feeling, love?
Dude, I feel great, man. Like this is awesome. Like I'm way more comfy now than I did when I started out. And like,
Hell
yeah,
yeah,
I'd definitely come on here again anytime, bro. Anytime.
dude.
I'd be honored.
Absolutely. Um, and also like anytime that you need me to possibly like shout you out on the podcast page, let me know, man, and I'll plug you. I try and plug all the guests that I've had on there. Nothing against anybody else, but I'm just trying to, be faithful to the ones that I have had on. Um, but yeah, dude, I would love to have you back. And this has been a treat. This has truly been a
Oh
treat, man.
yeah, this I've never done nothing like this before, so this is awesome. Yep, I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
you, dude, you're a natural, and like honestly, man, like I said, just keep building your confidence levels up, man. I know that's easier said than done too,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, it is.
but don't get caught up in the numbers because it's easy to
Yeah.
do, bro. It is. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's
No,
like
you're
I don't,
right though. You're
you
right.
know, I still struggle with it at times, and it's like you got something, and I mean I can tell that you have something, and it's like I don't want you to shut that down because you don't feel like you're reaching enough people.
I
Uh,
appreciate that, bro. Thank you so
yeah,
much.
man. So with that, man, I will let you go, and I'll be messaging you after this because I definitely want to stay in contact with you, man. If that's all right with you.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Yep, yep. Yeah, my girlfriend's got to go to sleep, but I don't. I don't have to
Hell
work her tomorrow, so I'm just gonna go chill.
yeah, man. I might be
So,
sending
yep.
you some music then.
Oh, definitely. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'm down.
Well, man, thank you again, and I will catch you on the next one.
All right. Thank you.
See you.
See you, bro.
So everybody, that was low. I had no idea what to expect on this one, and that was really, really freaking cool. He was the first rapper that I've had on the podcast, and I was a little nervous. I was like, well, I don't know how it's gonna go, like I was saying in the podcast, and it went really well. Um, with that, there is a new addition to the podcast that I meant to do last week, but because of internet trouble and weather trouble, I was not able to. Um, and it looks like I might not be able to again because my computer might have, yeah, it didn't save it. Oh boy. Well, at some point, at some point I will get this song played. Just know that it is a Death of Zenith track that I have been trying to get played for the last week, and it is something that I'm doing new on the podcast, where if you have a song that you want to send in at the end, go ahead and send it to me. It can be either an MP3 or an MP4, whatever you need it to be, and I will actually play it at the end. I'll give you a tag. I'll shout you guys out. It doesn't matter what you all need. It's just my way of saying thank you for being here and listening to the podcast. You guys could be anywhere else in the world. You guys could choose to do anything else tonight. And if you've chosen to stay here and listen to the conversations that I have, I truly appreciate it. I believe, okay, so I got the video. So this is A Brighter Place by Death of Zenith. You all be good to each other. Be safe. Good night.
You found your way back to me. I found my way back to you. Pushed and pulled, torn apart, shattered dreams that broke your heart and left it cold. I know I may never know the full embrace of it. I know I can't live and die by the face of it. Pushed and pulled, torn apart, shattered dreams that broke your heart. I know I may never know the full embrace of it, but I can no longer live a lie in the place of it. One touch of your hand, one smell of your skin, one taste of your grace takes me to a brighter place. One word from your voice, one dream of your face takes me to a brighter place. Pushed and pulled, torn apart, shattered dreams that broke your heart and left it cold. I know I may never know the full embrace of it, but I cannot live a lie in the place of it. Pushed and pulled, torn apart, shattered dreams that broke your heart. I know I may never know the full embrace of it, but I cannot live a lie in the place of it.
One last thing before I forget. Please do not forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share this video. You have no idea how much it helps me and helps go a long way when I do all this for free, and I try my best to be as transparent about everything. And also, if you want to buy me a coffee at Cash App, the Cash App tag is JT Christine, CHRISTEIN. You don't have to. I'm just saying, if you want to buy me a coffee so that way I can have something to drink outside of an energy drink every single time that I'm doing this podcast, it would be wonderful. It would be great for my heart too. Maybe a little bit better at least. Anyway, I love you guys. I can't wait to see you on the next one. Thanks for doing this doubleheader with me. Y'all are awesome.